All right, ready?
You want to do the intro?
Huh?
You want to do the intro? Do it, man. Do it.
All right. Welcome back, YouTube. This is Jason Becker with Weld.com here with Bob Moffett. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Rapidarc and Rapidex, the differences between the two and the advantages of both. So let's get started, Bob.
Okay.
So we'll start off with some Rapidarc. It's kind of a hybrid between pulse and short circuit, so you get the best of both worlds.
Okay. What gas are we going to run today?
We're going to run some 9010.
Okay.
And probably right around 40 CFH.
You're running up there a little higher than normal then because of fast travel speeds.
A lot faster travel speeds.
You don't want to outrun your gas envelope.
Right.
Okay.
So, you know, as compared to traditional pulse that a lot of people are familiar with Rapidarc we can get 40% faster travel speeds and about 15% less weld spatter. So production goes up and the cleanup, post-weld cleanup goes down. That's a
big deal. No laboring cleanup.
Right.
Got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Man, we got all these programs in there, so you just go to your material type, your wire size, and we've got values that automatically pop up.
Right. So if we can walk through that. So if I can go to a search mode. So let's say, you know, I want to do Rapidarc, but I'm stuck over here on SMAW for a low hydrogen electrode. So I go in here to the weld search mode, click on begin. I know I want to do some gas metal arc welding or metal inert gas, depending on what part of the country you're from. And I know that the material we're working on today, we're doing some 2x8, 3/16 coupons, carbon steel.
Could you say coupons?
I'd said coupons.
You're a good man.
Well, coupons.
Welcome to the world, man. That's good stuff right there.
We're going to run some 035 diameter, 70S6 series wire, and then we'll go back and we'll select our waveform. So I can run through here. I can do constant voltage, regular CV, and then I can input my own wire feed speed and voltage, you know, depending on what I like or what the welding procedure specification calls for. So we'll go back here to the Rapidarc. We'll get that dialed in. You'll notice the wire feed speed is a heck of a lot faster than you'll see with pulse or short circuit.
800 inches a minute.
So we're going to run 800 inches a minute with a trim value of 1. So when we set this up, depending on the wire feed speed that we want to use to weld on these coupons here, the voltage is already preset. They got some little elf running around in there. You know, as soon as I put 800 inches a minute, he goes over there and he bumps the voltage up. Probably, I'm guessing around 24 volts, 25 volts if I had to take a guess. But then we have our trim value here, so that's going to allow us to play with our arc length a little bit more.
And trim value relates to that voltage.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's just a more fine-tuned adjustment for that. So if I want a little bit longer arc length, it's probably going to give me a little bit wider of a puddle, a little bit more wetting in on the sides, and then you know, if I want to shorten that up, especially on thinner materials or tight spots, if I want to narrow up my weld profile, I can go ahead and drop that down.
Okay.
Especially getting out of positions.
So a plus number on the trim value on this machine gives you more arc voltage.
More arc length.
Okay. More arc voltage, more arc length.
Yep.
But you can also, I mean, it brought it up here and it just gave you these standard values, 800 inches a minute, and we're defaulted at 1.0 across there for your trim value or that. So, but you could still play with both of them.
Yeah, we can. I mean, and every welder is going to weld just a little bit different. You're probably going to like something, you know, a little bit different than I do. Typically, I mean, when it hits 1, that's usually what I run, unless I'm getting out of position. Okay. Then I start playing around with those trim values a little bit more. Just a little bit more unforgiving out of position than it is in the flat.
Sure. All right. I think we're ready to make a weld.
All right, man. Let's hit it.
Now, I'll notice your profile on this first run here, acceptable, but you can notice it's got a little peak to it. So on the second run you put in here, you softened up that wire feed speed a little bit by about 25 inches a minute, and that made a pretty big difference.
Yeah, it made that puddle a little bit more manageable. I mean, when you pull that trigger, man, you got to go quick.
Yeah. Might want to have an idea where you're going before you ever pull a trigger, because that's going to blow down some material in a hurry. I can understand why you'd want to run I'd understand why you want to run 40 cubic feet per hour, because I'm watching your weld, and you're red way out here about an inch behind your nozzle.
Yep.
So you need to flood that area.
It's all about the gas coverage.
Speed, high speed, spark stream was a lot smaller. We're not getting anything stuck to the material. So we're not warped up because of our travel speeds.
Yeah,
You're
I mean,
throwing
you got
some
less,
heat at it,
you
but
got
you're
less heat
also
input.
traveling quite a bit,
because you're
too.
hauling. So you, I mean, you get less heat input because you're increasing your travel time. Although you're increasing your amperage, your voltage, you're increasing that wire feed speed. So you get a lot less heat input, less joules, as they would say.
Right.
And I mean, overall, it's a real fast welding process. It's really good for hard automation and robotics and things of that nature. I mean, I don't think man was meant to go that fast with that much consistency. So it does really well in the robotic applications.
Interesting process. So this was Rapidarc.
Right.
And we've got another one we want to showcase, which is Rapidex.
Got one more we're going to showcase. It's
Okay.
the Rapidex process. So it's very similar to the Rapidarc. Rapidex, I guess, was kind of born out of the Rapidarc. So they came out with Rapidarc, which is basically a hybrid between short circuit and pulse spray.
Okay.
So they kind of redefined that waveform a little bit, and they developed Rapidex, which is going to give us a little bit less travel speed, but a lot less spatter. So we can, instead of a 50% increase in travel speed, with Rapidex, we're only going to have about a 40% increase in travel speed as compared to traditional pulse.
Okay.
But the upside is we're going to have about 30% less spatter. So it's even less spatter than the Rapidarc process.
So this is Rapidex.
Typically, you want with both of these processes, you want to keep about a 3/4 inch contact tip to work distance.
Okay. Kind of like a traditional spray.
Yep.
Pull it back there a little bit and let it happen.
Yep.
And,
Let it eat.
okay. Between the two of them, when you switched over and pulled the trigger, I noticed a tone change. Rapidex is like a higher pitch.
Yeah, much higher. Like I always refer to it as a pissed off hornet.
Yeah. Weed eater on steroids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely tell just in the volume of it.
Yeah, and I also noticed that there was a lot smaller of a spark stream. I'm kind of watching what's going on in and around your weld pool, and I'm watching the spark shower coming off of there, if you will. But between the tone change and the sparks,
Rapidarc's I think about 10 inches faster than the Rapidex.
Okay.
But I mean this one the pitch is definitely a lot higher, and I think that's just because of the pulsing current.
so the weld pool freeze faster a little bit on Rapidex.
I think it freezes a little bit faster on the Rapidarc myself.
Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to notice it. I still notice you're nice and hot behind your gas nozzle as you were going down through there.
Yeah, it's leaving a hot trail behind it.
Which one do you like better?
I'm a bigger fan of Rapidarc than I am the Rapidex. I think it's just in user preference.
Right.
We run a lot of Rapidarc on the robot when we're running that. It just seems like an easier process to run, a little bit smoother, easier to get dialed in.
Get those values and that arc length trimmed down.
Yeah,
and get everything
I kind of got everything kind of
quick.
sorted out on that. I mean, I probably need to play around with the Rapidex a little bit more.
I appreciate you having me in today and showing me the different programs and the values and talking with us on camera and explaining it to the viewers about what some of these programs will do.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to have you out here, Bob. Glad I could be of help.
Appreciate it.
All right. So this is Jason Becker with Weld.com, here with Bob Moffitt. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as we did making it. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook.